All right. Well, it's 2 o'clock Central, so we'll go ahead and get started. Well, welcome, everyone, and good afternoon. This month, our October free monthly training is all about collections. So in this training, we're going to really go through the creation process, printing of barcodes, and management of collections once they are checked into an event. Same like always, at any time during the training, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask or send me a message through the chat. If you cannot hear me or you cannot see my screen, please let me know. I've got my dual screen up, so I do have the chat up and open on one screen just to make sure that I can see your messages come through. All right. So go ahead and get started here. First off, I just wanted to talk about what a collection is, because this is a term that we use within Salamander, but I know outside in the different industries they may use a different term. So in terms of Salamander, a collection is a group of resources, either people, equipment, or a combination of both, that will be tracked and accounted for as one unit or team, so as a single resource. So they're being checked in and then tracked throughout the event as that one team or unit. Examples of a collection could be an engine strike team, a hazmat response team, a high-angle rescue team, K9 unit, etc. So the choice is yours. It's completely open within Salamander Live for you to be able to create what kind of collections you need or teams you need in order to, whatever makes sense for your event. Okay. Collections are supported in all of our solutions except for Rapid Tag Evac. As you know, that's more of a evacuation solution for tracking civilians as they check into shelters and whatnot. Out of the 5 listed, the Track app, as you can see I started here, is the only one that cannot create and print or generate a collection barcode. All the other solutions are able to do so. As you guys know, the Track app is still used to check a collection in and then track its movement throughout the event. So due to time today, we're going to really focus on how to create collections within Salamander Live, print collection barcodes from there, as well as manage collections using the Track app. If we have time at the end, and if you guys would like to see the collection creation process in either Rapid Tag or Command, I'll do a quick walkthrough. So again, at the end, I'll just open up. You guys let me know, and we'll go with majority vote on that, and then I'll make sure that we walk through one of those, just for time's sake. All right. So when we go through the printing process for Salamander Live, you're going to see that there's 4 standard designs for collections. There is a 2x3 one-sided collection card. There's a 2x3 two-sided portrait card, and there's 3 different colors for this: blue, navy, and red. So in the back is where that barcode is going to be found. And then the 4th design is going to be a 8.5 by 11 company sheet. So what this is it just prints 6 barcodes per sheet. So this could be used to put into your resource book or your battle book that could follow along with your command computer, or if you have one on your mobile command unit, that you're able to really just scan these collections in as you go. So next couple slides here, just going to show you a sample of these. So here's the one-sided collection card. Again, nothing on the back. This is just a real plain one. No color or anything, but does show the leader, issue, and expiration dates, and then the barcode on here. Of course, the name of the collection, as well as the organization in which that collection is from. Here are the 2x3 two-sided portraits. So you've got a blue color, a navy color, and then the red. So this is in the front. Similar information on here, except you've got a little bit more on this here. It actually identifies what agency or department that is, the ID number for that collection, if there's a NIMS type, issue expiration, again, the name of the company or collection, who the leader is, and you'll see on the back is actual barcode. Okay, so this is the two-sided. And last but not least is the 8.5 by 11 company sheet. So this is what I was telling you, the 6 barcodes per sheet. You can print as many as you want. Again, the larger the collection, meaning the number of resources that you have within them, the barcode is going to be a little bit more dense. So there is a limitation to the number of resources you can add within the barcode itself. As you start adding resources in there and you try to print, it'll tell you that it's too large for you to print. So I'll walk through that. All right, so let's go into Salamander Live here. Okay, so Salamander Live, you should see a collections database in your left menu. The collections database is open to anybody that is subscribed to Salamander Live. Okay, so there is no restrictions to this unless your account administrator has restricted you to being able to edit resource data. Okay, so you can create as many collections as you need to in the system. There is no limitations. As you guys know, the only limit for records is going to be on the people side. Okay. So in here, if you click on collections, if you haven't used this before, your collections database will be blank in here. You'll see we've got a couple of them, different ones in here. But I'll show you, the process is the same thing as if you're going to be manually adding a person record or equipment record. Okay, so same at the top here, you have the plus button. So go ahead and click on that. So first things first is entering in the collection details. So if you worked with Rapid Tag or Command before, you know that there's that first startup screen that you have to kind of just lay out what your collection is, right? This is basically what it is layout. What is the name of your collection? Who does the collection belong to? Okay. On top of this, we've got some additional buttons at the top here. So if this collection or this team is active, you can mark it as such. So if someone's going in there and trying to look at what teams are active and what teams are not, they'll be able to find in here which ones are. So if it's active, you can mark it as such. Same thing on here, if that collection is deployable, you can mark it as such. Okay. And then typing in the name of the collection. So in this case, we'll just do a hazmat team. Again, you can name these as whatever you want in here. ID, again, as you know, on the people side, equipment side, the system does generate an ID number for you, like a system generated one. On the collection side, it does not. So this is kind of open text. You can fill in whatever you want. So in here, I'm just going to put this as hazmat. So I'll just do HZMT. Okay. And the organization, as you guys know, as you start typing in, it's going to pop down a drop down of all the organizations based off of your entry. So all you have to do is select it from the drop down. So I'm going to put this under Moosewood Fire Department, select it, fills it in. NIMS type, you'll see there's a requirement on there. If there isn't one, just type in none or select none. Designation, if you wanted to. Again, these are optional fields in which you can enter in if you'd like. So I'll just select team, kind, I'll just select hazmat on there. Again, not required for designation or kind, but if you want to fill that in, feel free to do so. Once you're done with this, simply click Save. Okay. Once you click Save, it takes you into the profile, similar to your personnel profile, equipment profile, organization profile, right? So this is just going to give you some details. What is this collection? And then you got this section at the bottom where you're now able to add in the resources. So resources in this case, you have people and then collection. For today, we're going to ignore this section called Add Collection. So this is a collection within a collection. We're kind of building off on this. So it doesn't necessarily 100% work as of right now. We're kind of building in the structure for what's to come in the future in Salamander Live version 3. Okay. So add people, simply what you're going to do on here is click the plus button, and it's going to pull down a details window. From here, what's going to happen is you have your options. You can search for the resources that you want. Searching, you have to search by their first name or last name, or you can scroll through the list. So this was a change that we had made in a hot fix, I want to say a couple weeks ago, that you're only now able to search by first name or last name. Okay. So in this case, we're just going to search for the people. I'm just going to type them in on here so I know who they're going to be. There's Molly. There is Lyndon. Let's see who else in here. Anne and J. Okay. So you see on that, all I'm doing, I'm just going to search for these individuals, find where they are, click their name, and it adds them to this section at the bottom called selected. Okay. So one thing to know about searching, once you start searching, you have to continue searching. Okay, so it doesn't pull down your entire list anymore. You have to continue searching. If you want your entire list again, you'd have to cancel, get back to get your entire list. But you see, we've already added these 4 individuals. So think of this as your cart. So you're just kind of adding these people into your cart. You verify, make sure that these are all the correct people that you want to add to your collection. Once that's correct, just click add. If you're like, oh no, Molly should not be a part of this, I can just click on her name and it removes her from this collection. You see that? It removes her from this. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and click add. Once I add, it adds the people on here. You'll see that the name, their ID, their organization, and a rate populates on here as well as their unit. Notice on here you've got one that says there's a parentheses A at the end of this. What this basically signifies is that this person, Jay Snow, does not have an individual rate on his personnel record. So what this is doing, it's pulling in the account rate. So as you may or may not know, on the settings side, so for those administrators at the top level, at the parent organization, they have control of setting up default rates for people and equipment. So what this is doing is it's pulling out that default rate that was set up by the administrator. It pulls it through so that it's calculating a cost for that person so that you get a cost per hour sum. Okay, so that's where that's pulling in. So this should equal out to this total. This should sum correctly. Now you see there is a cost per day sum. As you know, on the equipment side, there is the option to select hour or day when it comes to the unit. So right now, obviously, it's not going to calculate any day sum for people, only if we add equipment in there that has a day sum. So go ahead and add a piece of equipment again. Your collections can include both people and equipment, or just people or just equipment. So just really up to how you're building out your collections. Okay, so again, this is a collection that we're creating that has resources in there. So these resources, they could be more static. So this hazmat team could be a static team. Or it could be a dynamic team, meaning later if you want to change out this team for a different event, you have the option to do so. You see here there's these X's at the end here where you can remove this. You can keep the shell of the collection, but you can change the members of that collection to whoever you need it to be. So that makes it more dynamic in that aspect. Okay, so I'm going to add a piece of equipment, same thing. When you click on that, it's going to pull down all your equipment. This is only going to pull down fixed assets. So if you have asset management turned on your account and you also have consumable items, this screen will not pull down your consumable items. Okay, so only pull down any of your fixed type assets. So in here we'll look up, I think I have a hazmat vehicle in here. I do. So that's what I'm going to select. I search for my hazmat vehicle, select on that, and then click add. Same thing, it adds it to the bottom here. If you want to remove it, you can click on it to remove. Now we add our piece of equipment. So there's the hourly rate, $20 an hour. So it starts calculating that into the cost per hour sum as well. Okay. So that's how you build out a collection. So again, you can create a shell of a collection, especially if your teams are always changing. You may not want to add those resources in, and you may want to create more of a shell of a collection. I'll show you what that actually is, and you can add in the resources later during the event. So again, here's our team. So if I print this barcode out, I can go up here, click this barcode, and it's going to print off one barcode, and it's going to include all these people's information in there. Okay, so click print. You can click print, as you know, from the profile page. You can click it from the list page. So in here, I can select, I'm going to print a PDF so you guys can see what that looks like. I'll just do the collection card, so very simple, very easy. You can do an issue and expiration date if you would like on this. So again, you got the option. In this case, I'm not going to do an expiration. And then just click print. So give it a second to spool and then be sent to your printer. While that is printing, oh, here it is, my 2x3, what is this? So I know what that is. Okay, perfect. If you need to change any of your profile information, you'll see at the top there is an edit button that you can click on to edit that information as needed. So if, for example, if this team does become inactive, you can mark it as such, mark it as inactive. Okay, so it just allows you to go in here and edit that information as needed. So I'm going to go back to the main list of our collections. See that we've got it in here. So there is our hazmat team. So I want to show you how others, how you can use collections as well. So again, if you aren't for sure who those members are going to be until they're actually deployed and they respond and say accept the job assignment, you can create a shell of an assignment or a shell of a collection as well. So like for example, this high angle rescue team. So I'm going to click on this. And basically all this is just a shell, right? So I just put in here, what is this collection? Is it active? I can mark it as such. It's active, it's deployable. I can edit that information, click save. I don't have to add any people. So I'm going to show you how you can utilize a shell using the Track app to download resources into that collection within the Track app, okay? Again, it just really depends if whether or not you know who are going to be a part of that team before the event, and if you don't, you can use a shell. So again, you can create all different types of shells in here, shell the collections, and then as you add them to the event, you can just add in the individual members that are now going to be assigned to that particular team. All right. So there we've got that. Again, if you're looking at printing from this page, same thing if you're looking at batch printing, select the ones that you're looking at printing, and then you can print from the same thing. So one design for everything. Okay. Any questions so far on this? Any questions? Again, and I forgot to mention on this, but if your collections, so one thing to note is your collections, they pull resources from your people and your equipment database, okay? So if the people are not included in there and you want to add them, you got to make sure that you go into your people database, add those resources first so that they are going to be selectable to create your collection. So if I wasn't clear on that, I apologize, but I want to make sure that you guys knew that there, okay? As you guys know, your list here is going to be customizable. You can go up here and you can change your data list. Up at the top, you got your edit columns. There's a bunch of information that is hidden. So if you want to know which teams are deployable, you can select that. You can change your different, rearrange it wherever you want it to go. You can mark this way up here saying, is this an active team? I want to make sure that it's deployable as well too, wherever you want to put it. I'm going to remove NIMS type. I'll remove the level and then click done. And everything rearranges. So you'll know exactly who it is. If you need to filter and see who is active, you can do it as such. Oh, true. Equals true. Okay, so something's up with this one here. I apologize. But we'll do the deployable one. This one should work. There it goes. This is what it should look like. So true on that. So you can see exactly who is going to be deployable on here. Or starts with, oops. True. There you go. There you go. So true on here. So these are all the deployable teams. So again, a way that you can filter your list by either active or deployable. Again, I will double check on this one here to find out exactly why this one is not working. All right, now we got a barcode. So I've already prepped and I've got all my barcodes printed on here. So I've got all these different barcodes I have, but I'm going to be pulling up the Track app to show you how all these different barcodes can be scanned into the system. So again, Again, these are all through PDF, but there's the collection card, the blue card. You'll notice it's not printed on the back, navy, red, and then our collection barcodes. Okay. So any questions before we go through the track app? So I'm going to minimize this, pull my track app up. So I created two separate events, one that is based off a plan and one that's just one that I created through Salamander Live. Okay, so again, I kind of separated the two depending on you guys and what you guys have. It just really depends. And also, I do want to note that I am working off of my staging environment. As you guys know, we've been working on a update for the track app, and that release is coming soon. We just are finalizing our last round of QA for the track app, but we are gearing up to get that out and released to you. As you may or may not know, within that track app release is a huge section that we've updated on collections and making sure that the track app supports collections in the way of being able to download them. So you're going to actually see this today. You guys are going to see this before anybody, so thank you for being on here. You guys can share the good news with everybody else, but you'll get to see the track app being able to download these collections either through or for a planned event or a non-planned event. Okay, so just take a look at this Moosewood Storm one right here. So I'm going to tap join on this. So right here, I'm in my event. I've got some people scanned in here. I've got my barcodes right here, so I'm going to scan this in. So scanning this in, same as scanning in a individual resource. So if you got a personnel record or personnel barcode that you want to scan in, their credential, the same thing. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to scan in this this Engine 78. So again, I tap my scan button at the bottom here. Scan my barcode. Since I scanned this from the event screen, it's going to ask me to select an assignment. Okay, so I didn't select the assignment first. So again, it just depends on which order you do this. You can select the assignment first and then scan the barcode, or scan the barcode first and then select this assignment afterwards. So in this case, I'm going to put this is Engine 78 going to the fire assignment. I'm going to select that, and this is what pops up. So you're going to get this Engine 78, so that's the name of the collection, and it's going to list you all the members of that collection. Okay, so in here you'll see that there's 4 people within this collection, and then there's 1 piece of equipment. If you have Salamander identity verification turned on, you're going to see that the verification results appear in the bottom right-hand corner of the person's picture. Okay, so as you guys know, a green circle with the white check mark that means that they're validated. They've been verified. And then if you have a warning, which is this exclamation mark with this yellowish circle, that means they failed one of the 5 checks. You know, with Salamander identity verification, there's 5 checks that each person goes through when they're scanned into the system. So in this case, you can tap on the name. So if you tap on the name, you see that there's a little caret right there that lets you know that, hey, there's another screen that you can view information on. So if I tap on their name, it's going to provide me what they failed on. So in this case, it's saying that they have an expired qualification. So AWR-160-1 expired 2 years ago. So in this case, it could have been a slight, overlook, right, where they forgot to update someone's qualifications. So again, you as the track app user has the option to either block or allow this person from being checked in with this collection. Okay, there's no cancel button. So if you're like, well, I'm not sure if I need to call, a supervisor higher up to get confirmation on whether or not Nick could be, checked in, just tap allow and it'll bring you back to the main screen. Okay, you see that? Once you get verification, you're like, oh no, we need to block him. This is what happens when you do the block. So in this time, let's say I got a hold of my supervisor that says, no, he needs that qualification is required to do this job. Unfortunately, Nick can't be a part of this. So I can click block on that. So if I tap block, you're going to see that next to his picture, there's now an X next to it saying that he is not going to be checked in with this collection once I tap accept at the bottom here. So he's going to be excluded from the check-in process. Okay? Even though that barcode still contains Nick DeRosa, it says that he's been blocked from this check-in. Okay? So equipment, as you guys know, does not go through identity verification, so you'll never see that marking down there. You can also uncheck people as well, so you can manually uncheck them. So these checkboxes are checkable. So in this case where you're like Jean Hogg is not here, she was supposed to be part of Engine 78, but she is not. She was replaced by someone else. I can uncheck her name, and it will also not check her in through when I tap accept on here. And I can go in when I'm within the event itself. I can add someone else to replace her. Again, this is your option to really verify and confirm the collection that you're checking in. So I'll just check her back in on here. So I'm going to tap accept. You'll see that at the bottom, Engine 78 added to fire. Camera stays active on here, and you're able to scan in your next collection. Okay. Just note that fire is now the active assignment. Okay. So anybody I scan going forward is going to be put into that fire assignment. So if it's not the case, you're like, no, the next group of people are going to be going to different assignments, tap the back button to bring you back to the main event screen. So you'll see here the collection's been checked in. You'll see that it highlights it now. The icon is now highlighted. It shows you that one collection is checked in, and it will segregate out the people and the equipment into their respective counts on here. So it splits them all up on here. Okay. If I tap on the fire assignment, I should see my collection in there. So a couple of things that you can do on here if you're looking at viewing your collection. So as you guys know, if you tap on the picture, you can move them, right? So this is moving the entire collection from one assignment to another assignment, right? So you see the move icon at the top here where you're able to now move them. But just like how you tap the person's name, you can also tap the collection name to view its details. So again, I'm going to do that one more time. You tap the collection's name to view the details. So there's two tabs on here that you can view details on. You can view the members. So this is going to list you everybody. You'll notice that that one individual that we blocked was not checked in. You see that? She's not even here. And then you'll see that there's a details tab. But before you go to the details tab, I'm going to show you guys this. So this just works just like if you're tapping their image or their name. So these members can be moved in and out of a collection as you see fit. So for example, if I tap on Helen Hodge, her name, I can view her details. You can see here her title, her profile, all her qualifications. I can also, if I scroll all the way down, see her assignment history. So again, this is her individual assignment history. So she could have been checked in as an individual resource and then checked into this team to replace somebody. Okay, so you can see that in there that she was checked in with Engine 78. She's been in there for 2 minutes. And of course, you are able to move them as well. So let's say Howard Hodge, let's say he's going to be leaving this Engine 78. Okay, let's say he's going off scene. He's going home. He got sick. I can tap on the move icon. See, I tap his picture, tap the move icon, and I can move him where I need him to go. So again, I'm just moving him out of that collection. He could be going to a different assignment. Let's say he's reassigned somewhere else. Maybe he is reassigned to hazmat. I can select hazmat. Now Howard Hodge has been moved to hazmat. Do you see that? Now there's only 2 people that's part of Engine 78. You'll see at the top there are some buttons. You got the plus button where you can download people to add to the collection. You can scan people to add into the collection. So you have your different options on here. So again, the download function, I tap the plus button, tap personnel. I'm going to add the people I need to for this collection. So let's say Josh Adams is going to replace the person that I moved out. Tap the check mark, adds him in. Okay. I can also scan. If I had barcodes, I can scan as well too. So if you have barcodes, you can scan them into the collection. So whichever way that you choose that you want to do. I already have Helen Hodge in here. Let me see. Here's Terry Early. So I've got a barcode here. Let me just tap the scan button. There he is. Get some good lighting. So print ID match fail. This is because it's an old ID. Not his newest one. That's what this warning just basically states, is that he's got a newer ID out there somewhere, but he brought his old ID to get checked in. We're like, no, it's not a big deal, so we're going to allow him in. So I tap allow, and now he's been added to Engine 78. Now we've got our full team in place. Okay. Tap back to go back to the fire assignment, and tap back again to go back to the main screen. Any questions on that process so far? Okay. Now, one thing I didn't note on this is when you're checking in these collections, just note that if the person is already checked into the event and you scan this collection barcode in that has that same person as part of that collection, it is not going to check that person in with that collection. Okay. So again, I'll repeat that just to make sure that in case it wasn't clear. So let's say Terry Early already checked in, and he's on scene. So he's in the assignment on scene. Let's say I have a collection barcode called Engine 100, and Terry is also part of Engine 100. If I scan in Engine 100, that collection barcode, it's not going to scan in Terry Early into that. Okay. So it's not going to check him in with that collection because he's already in a different assignment. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. All right, so I'm going to show you guys another way. I know a lot of agencies that I've trained in the past have talked about using shell type collection barcodes where they can build out their collections as they need for the event. So I'm going to use this high angle rescue team, okay? If you guys remember, there was no people within this assigned, or no resources assigned to this team at all. It's just a blank or shell collection. So I'm going to scan that in. So here's the high angle rescue team. So I'm going to put them in fire. Okay, you see that there's no people, so it just automatically puts them into that assignment. See, because there's nobody to verify or to check, saying, hey, can you confirm all the team members? So they've been added. So I go back in here. If I go into fire, it's the same as before, right? So now I'm able to scan in people if I need to. So if I'm scanning in individuals, you know, if I have barcodes on here, I'm scanning individuals, getting them scanned into different teams. Let's say Helen Hodge, she's already checked in. I'm going to move her into the high angle rescue team. I can do so. But I've got all these different people in here, so I want to scan these barcodes on here. Okay. So I'm just going to scan in this person. This is Corbin Brady. Okay. So in this case, you see in this right here, you'll see that you don't have the collection in here. So if you do this, I just purposely showed you guys this, that if you are trying to scan them into a collection, you can't do it from the event screen. You see this? Because you don't see that collection team in there. So what you have to do is you have to go into the collection. Okay, you see that? I have to go into that team. So there it is, high angle rescue team, and then scan it from here so it knows that it needs to go directly to this collection. Okay, so there it is. I can scan my people now. So again, these are older barcodes. That's why these are populating. So ID print match fail. Identity is not found. Corbin Brady is no longer in the system. It's because he's in a different system. He's in my live environment versus my staging environment. So I'm just going to allow him. Same thing with Andrew Grill. There he is. Identity I found. Same thing. He's part of my live environment, not my staging one. I'm going to allow. Tap back. And there. I've created my team on the fly. right, by scanning their barcodes, or I can download people and create my team, and then move them out and in as needed for the event. So that's another way that you guys can utilize this if you don't know who those team members are going to be until they're all on scene and you start building out your teams there. So that's one way to do that. Okay. Now I wanted to show you guys, if you guys don't have any questions, anybody have questions on that process? Now I wanted to show you guys the download function. So again, you guys are getting a sneak peek at this before anybody else. Okay, so downloading. You guys know to download, you tap the plus button. And with our new track app release, you're going to see a new collections option. Right now, if you log in today, you should only see 3 assignments, personnel, equipment. Once the track app is released, you will see a 4th one called collections. If I tap on that, that's going to pull down all my collections that I have built within Salamander Live. So again, this just gives you the option that, hey, do you want to print off those barcodes and hand out barcodes out to people? If you don't want to, and you just say, you know what, we're going to download them as we need, this is your option, okay? So again, like in the download function, though, you're not going to be able to tap on the name and find out exactly like who's in there until you actually tap on the name. When you're downloading collections, you can only download one collection at a time. You can't do like people and equipment where you're able to download multiple collections, like multiple people or multiple equipment at a time. You can only download one at a time. So I'm going to go to my hazmat team. So you see in here, I just tap on it. I can tap a picture. I can tap the name. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to select my assignment. And then it's going to pull down the individuals within that hazmat team. You see that? So it's a little bit different. So it's going to have you select the assignment, and then it's going to pull up those individuals. You can't just tap on it. It's going to show you who's a part of it. Okay. So in this case, you'll see in here everybody's checked in, or everybody is good so far. Again, you have your options. You can, if they're not there and you want to remove them, like say Jay Snow was not there and you want to remove him, just again uncheck the checkbox for him and then tap accept. So there's our hazmat team. We're going to accept, and they've been added in. Okay, so there they are, hazmat. You see that Jay Snow was not added in. Okay. You can also go into the assignment and then tap to download. Again, that's another option that you have. So you go to collections. I can download my team. Let's see here. What do I have? Let me set for my observation team. So there's my observation team. Everybody's good. You're like, yep, they're all there. I can accept. And now it's been downloaded there. And that's coming soon. Okay. Questions on that? Questions? No questions? All right. Oh, one question. Exciting. Yes, absolutely. Very exciting. I cannot wait. There's a couple of things that we've done here as well, too. So, Steve, I know you're on the call here, and I know you've been struggling with the PDF 14 barcode. So we've got that fixed with that release as well, so you'll be able to scan those barcodes going forward. Yes, I know you've been waiting a long time for that. So, yep, we've got that fixed. We've been testing it, and it works great. So, anybody on the call have plans? Do you guys want to see the collections piece with plans? It's the same process. There really isn't much difference on the plan side. It works pretty much the same. You can scan or download. You still have the option to remove people. You guys can give me a hands up or a thumbs up, or just put it in the chat or in the message that you want to see on the plan side. Okay. Bill wants to see it. Alan. Okay. All right. So I've got a couple thumbs up. So let's see on the plan side. Okay. So I've got this one I created called Moosewood Flood. There it is. Now for this one here, I did not do any scheduling. So there is a scheduling option. Oh, that's not the right one. That's probably not the right one. Let me go back and activate that one. I probably didn't activate the right one. Let me go back in here. Activate my correct one. So if you haven't seen this before on the plan side, how do you activate it? Go to plans, activate it. So I got this flooding one. Start now. It's supposed to be my Moosewood Flood. I'm changing the name. Okay, you can enter an address, which you guys know pins onto the GIS map on the events dashboard. So put that in. Let's select that one, click Start, and now my event started. So if I go in my track app, I should see, there it is, Moosewood Flooding. Tap Join. There's my assignment. So that's the difference between the two, is that if you create a plan first, as you know, it's going to pull out all your assignments, all the resources that have been planned within those different assignments, which includes collections, and now you're able to start scanning them in or downloading them in. Okay, so with this track app fix, we've also fixed it so that collections are now supported with plans. Okay, so plans does now support the collections that you've added to a plan. So I apologize. Track app does now support collections that are within a plan. Okay, so that's going to be with the release. Okay, so that's with the track app release. So not today, but when we release the track app, you'll be able to download collections correctly with no issues, and or scan them in with no issues. Okay. So I've got a couple of them in here. You'll see I've got them. They're probably under fire. There it is. There's my engine 78. So again, it's the same process. The great thing about a planned event is that you don't need to know where they're supposed to be going. The plan itself, the details are pulled through. So when you scan them in through the track app is going to recognize where they need to go. So I've got my barcode for engine 78 here. I'm going to scan that in. It's going to pull down the people, right? So it's going to pull down everybody that's within that barcode. So there it is. There's everybody. There's Nick, Helen, Howard, Jean, my engine. Again, if you want to view the information, it's going to tell you exactly the reason why. They've got some barcodes on there. Okay. This one here, you'll see there's no red on here. This normally just means that they've got all their qualifications, nothing. And right here you'll see that they're all red. Not red, but they're all expired on here. So we've got a bunch of them. Again, if you choose to allow or block, totally up to the track app user. If you block it, the person's not going to be added to the planned or to the event that's planned. So even though they're planned, you can remove them, and they're not going to be checked in with the collection. Okay, so it works just like as if this was outside of a plan. No difference. Okay. So I'm going to do is I'm going to accept, and it's going to check them in. You see that? Engine 78 added to fire as planned. Simple as that. Simple as that. And there they are, popped in there. Okay. Just because it's a plan doesn't mean that you can't scan or download collections that are outside of those plan resources. You still can. So I can still go in here. I can download my collections as I need to. Say I'm going to do my drone team. I can tap on my drone team. They're going to go into, let's say, into law. There's my team right there. It's going to pull down who they are. I can tap accept. And now they've been added to the law. So there's really no difference on here. The only difference that you're going to see is if you have scheduling in place. If you have scheduling in place and a collection is late, you're going to still get the same late prompt. Okay, you're still going to get that same late prompt as you would if you were doing a individual single resource. Once a planned collection has been checked in, you can still move those resources, those collection members, in and out of that collection. Okay? Just because they're planned doesn't mean that they're stuck with that, until the end of the event. No, once they're checked in, you can move them out and about as you see fit. Okay? Questions on that? Questions? Again, you can download collections in here. I think I did this before already, but I'll just do it again. Let me see, observation team. There's the people. Move that person out, accept, and there you go. You can still tap the observation team. You can move people out as you see fit. Let's say you move them into the wrong. You can tap on their picture, move them where you need to go. Oh, sorry, I need to do that there. Where is it going? There's again, I'm in my staging account, so it may not work completely. Let's try that one more time. If it is, this is a bug on my staging device. Yeah, it's a bug on my staging device, so we won't do the movement there. So I apologize on that. Again, it's not going to work 100% on here since this is my staging environment. But you guys get the picture. You guys can move people as you see fit. Just tap their name, move, and then move them where you guys go. So, all right. So that is management of a collection through the Track app. Any questions? Questions? No questions? All right. The last piece I want to show you guys then is on the event side. Okay, so here's our storm from earlier before. We can go through our flooding as well too. So here's our Moosewood Storm event. So there's our summary, our roster, our plan versus actual, which we're not using. This is just for plans if you're using scheduling. There's our map. Okay. Red, again, is event location, burn down, and then our chart. Okay. So some things to note on here. This right here, the ability to manipulate your chart does require a Events Pro feature activation or subscription, or a plans subscription. Okay. If you get plans, you automatically get Events Pro. Okay, so it's included with plans. Plans is basically the top tier package. Okay, so in this case, if you have Events Pro or plans, you should have these buttons at the top here. You should have a camera button. You should have a add assignment button. Okay, not only that, you also have the option to edit an assignment. So for example, if I right click on law on here, I can edit that. I can go in there and I could put details in there. For example, I can put assignment locations in this, which would then map that, pin that on my GIS map. It would come up as a green pin. So let me just put an address in here. Okay. Not only that, you're able to move people. You can add people in here, similar to what you can do within the Track app. So you can do all the same functionalities you could do through the Track app through here as well. So you'll see in here you can add collections through here as well. So again, on top of what you can add within the Track app, you can do the download functions very similar through Salamander Live. So again, I can click on the plus. The great thing about doing it through Salamander Live here is that you get this. It'll tell you exactly which collections are already active within the event, which is great. Okay, so it tells you everyone that's already active within the event. So I can, if I wanted to and I wanted to activate another team, I can feel free to do so in this case. Okay, so let me just do, what do I have in here? Let me do team 1. I can activate that, click add. It's going to add that team to the event. The only thing you're not going to see on here is who those members are. So that's the difference between activating a collection through Salamander Live through activating a collection through the Track app. The Track app will give you full details on each member that's part of that collection. Salamander Live does not as of today. Okay, so it just basically tells you that Team 1, which you will need to know who is a part of Team 1. If you're unsure, you can always go back to Collections and view it, especially if you're just working through Salamander Live. Or if you have the Track app, you can also click on the Track app and see exactly who is a part of Team 1 within your Track app. So I'm going to pull up my Track app again. There's my Track app. I put them in law. So I go in here. There's my Team 1. There's my members. Okay. You'll see they have a question mark on here. So as you guys know, the question mark, that's part of Salamander identity verification as well. That means that their identity verification status is unknown. Okay. Or technically it's the offline one, but in this case it's unknown because in this case they were pulled through Salamander Live, so they didn't go through the identity verification check. As you guys know, that's only done through the Track app. Okay. Also, a difference between management of collections through Salamander Live versus Track is that you don't have the capability of moving individual people outside of a collection. Okay, so in this case, you're only able to move the full collection from Salamander Live. See that if I click this checkbox next to this team, I can move it, but I can't move the individual members. I can only move the entire team. If I click the move icon, I can go in here and I can move it where I need them to go. Okay, see that? Let me click observation team and move them off scene. If I click off scene on here, I click move, it'll automatically move the entire team out, which is different than what you would see in the Track app. So I just wanted to show you guys kind of the difference between management of collections through Track versus management of collections through Salamander Live. The differences between the two, again, you guys can use a combination of both, or again, most people that are out in the field are not going to be using Salamander Live. This is more for those that are going to be in the command post EOC, that if they need to do any sort of management, they are able to do so still on the back end, even if they don't have access to the Track app. Okay, and in Track apps, again, your boots on the ground, that all your account managers that are out there that are responsible for managing your resources out in the field. Okay. Going back on here, you'll see that in the roster, you'll see that they'll tell you exactly, which assignment they're a part of. Okay. Now it's not going to tell you that they're part of a actual collection. In this case, it'll tell you which assignment they are in. Okay. And there it is. There's the law assignment that I entered in. Again, that just comes with, Events Pro and or the Plans feature. Okay. You can click on these as well, which is something that we also released with our V68 update. So if you click on this through the chart, it'll tell you exactly who those members are. Okay, and you can pull a report on that collection. Okay. All right. Any questions on the walkthrough today with collections? As you guys know, collections can be created also through rapid tag and command. So that those are two additional solutions that you're able to do. So if you have the tag app, you can create your own collection through there as well. That's going to be including you and your team. So it's more of an individual basis. So it's about 2:54 right now. So you guys tell me, I can quickly walk you guys through it through rapid tag if you guys like, or you're like, no, it's too much information, overwhelming. Let's wait for next time. You guys let me know. If you guys want me to show you guys quickly the process of creating a collection through rapid tag and or command, let me know. We've got about 5 minutes to do so. And I think I can do it. So you let me know. Just give me a thumbs up or put in the message rapid tag or command. I can show you guys. You can put the message in there that, yes, I like to see it for rapid tag. Okay. Okay. So I see 2 thumbs up on here. So I'll do this really quickly. So I'll populate this. We're going to join these events together so that you can see the data populate through. So you'll see the difference in management because there is a difference in how you manage teams through rapid tag as well. Again, and also their command. They have all their benefits and advantages doing it in one solution versus another. Again, if you have a complete solution, you just have so many more options to be able to manage your different data that's populating through. Okay, so Storm, I'm going to start this. Okay, I'm going to sync this. Okay, and then I'm going to go to Salamander Live. I'm going to join this. Normally, you're not working rapid tag by itself. You're normally working that with another solution, such as Track, in most cases. So I'm going to join these 2 together, so you'll see the information populate through. Oh, I can't do it through rapid tag because I'm in my staging environment. Great. So unfortunately, I can't show you guys through this one here, but I'll create the collection for you. I can't join it with my other one, but creation of collections is very simple in here. Go to collections, and you have to manually create it. So you have to click the add button in this case. Click the add button. You'll see it's a similar form as what you guys saw within Salamander Live, right? The ID, the name, the organization which that collection is with, and then you've got designation, NIMS type, etc. Except here you get a little bit more information, like you can select the role and the location. The assignment, you're only going to have 2 options here, which is checked in, off scene, unless you join this in with another event that's already in progress that has more assignments. Again, I'm working off of rapid tag version 5, which is 2-way sync, okay, which has 2-way syncing. If you're working off version 4, know that you do not have 2-way sync. So in this case, I'm just going to create my technology team. You'll see in here, if I start typing a technology team in here, it's going to type the ID and the name exactly the same. So this here, I could put IT team, IT, and then down the bottom in here, I could put technology team. See that? Organization, I'm going to leave this as Sal Live. If you want to add a new organization, feel free to do so. If I want to put in Moosewood Fire Department, I can do so. Okay. And then finish, and there it is. I can fill in the rest information if I want to. There's drop downs for these if I would like to. So there's options on there. I'm going to leave this as Cell Live Training. Click Next, and then now you can add in your people. So here you can do one of 2 things. You can scan in driver's licenses, or you can scan in Salamander credentials. Okay, so you got your 2 options on here. If you have, if you're creating collections out of those volunteers or those mutual aid or outside agencies that are working with your organization on this event, and you want to create them and you want to check them in as a team, this is how you can do so. Okay, without putting them into your permanent Salamander Live database. So you got your options on there. So let me just eject my flash drive so I can plug in my scanner. One second in here. Close all tabs so I can close this out. Okay. Plug in my scanner. And if you have barcodes, this makes it easy. So you can scan the individual ones. You can scan in whichever you need. So I'm just going to scan a couple of Salamander credentials I have in here. Seeing this? I'm just scanning these in. Next person. Again, these could be driver's licenses. They can be, you know, Salamander credentials that you're creating in here. Okay, so I've got my, there you go, I've got my 2 people. I can say Donald Brown is the leader. Similar to what you guys could do within Salamander Live, you can mark the one that is the leader. If there's equipment that you want to add in there, same thing. As you guys know, most equipment is not going to have barcodes, so a lot of that's going to be a manual add, which you can just click and add down here and then fill in the form. So in this case, I can print. So if I print on here, it's going to print off a barcode depending on the option that you select in your print settings. And then now you got your team. So now it's checked in. It's as simple as that, right? So this is where you're now going to have to create add your different members in there. It's not pulling from a existing database. So that's the difference between creating a collection through Salamander Live versus creating a collection through RapidTag. You're working off of data that you currently don't have. You're working off data that's right in front of you from the people that's standing in front of you. Now later, if you add in all these different people and you want to add them to a collection, you're able to do so. So I'm either going to go over personnel here. I'm just going to add in a bunch of different people. And you'll see how you're able to add them into a collection if need be. So I'm just going to scan some of these people in here. Let me see. So I've added these individuals in here, right? So I've got Mike and Corbin. If I click on Corbin, I edit. You'll see in here I can now move him into the technology team if I need to. So that this is basically the same thing as you go into your track app and tapping the move icon, tapping their picture, moving them into a team. Very similar to that. So now in this case, I've now moved this person to the technology team. You'll know that they're part of collection because you see that there's that icon next to their name. Okay? So that's the difference between RapidTag and the track app when it comes to the creation and printing process of collection barcodes. So that's it. That's, in a nutshell, about 6 minutes to do that in. Any questions? Any questions? All right. If you guys want to see collection creation on the command side, send me an email, and I will put that in as one of the topics to cover in our new year, because we've got all our meetings set up for the end of this year, and our next one is going to come in January. So if you guys want to see collection creation through command, I can cover that in January. There are videos available within Salamander University that I do already cover this. So if you're interested in seeing that, feel free to go to Salamander University right here, and you can go up to using command on here. You'll be able to, it's called adding a company. So it's different terminology because it's an older software, but great software. But it just, instead of saying collection, it says company in there. So you can go through this tutorial, walk you through it. I know I've got some webinar tutorials that we did walk through on creation of collections through command as well. So event management command, I think there's another one in here. So feel free to go through that if you have any questions. Other than that, this does end our call today. I just want to thank you guys all so much for being a part of today's training, being patient with me, and staying on a couple minutes later. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. This is my contact information. So this is our 877 number, and then my email address. If you want to contact your local sales rep, you can feel free to do so as well too if you have questions. I know that there's a bunch of you from like the Missouri, state of Missouri area and in Kansas, so feel free to contact your local rep there as well. All right, everybody, thank you guys all so much. Again, take care. Hopefully, guys, I see you guys next month. Take care. Thank you, Tina.